Things that your Game Boy Advance could do. This is a direct turnaround from my other video about how the Game Boy Advance triggers you. What could your Game Boy Advance do? Well, let's find out. First of all, it was a live TV tuner. Well, it could be if you bought the accessory. Yeah, that was a common thing, especially with the Xbox. If you wanted to watch DVDs on it, it was perfectly capable of doing that, but you couldn't use the regular game controller. Why? I have no idea. You had to buy a special remote with a receiver. I have no idea why. It was just like this. But Microsoft could do whatever they want, so yeah. So, second, your Game Boy Advance could also be used as GPS, which were horrible at the time and were very bad until about, oh, I don't know, 2000, I'm gonna say 2017. Yeah. GPS were horrible. You know what's garbage? GPS. GPS are garbage. Don't buy them. Especially the ones that go in your windshield. On your windshield. Those things seem the worst. It's like the sun is making them not work. It's like the sun itself, the sunlight, is just saying, hey, why don't you not work? And the GPS is like, that's genius. And the GPS could possibly tell you the wrong way to go. Yes, this does still happen sometimes, even today, but a lot less. Yeah, so there's not really a point. I mean, unless you don't have a smartphone and you happen to have a Game Boy Advance 001 or regular Game Boy Advance, I guess. Does anyone remember the rechargeable AA packs? You know what I'm talking about. The two AA's that came in a blue plastic pack that were claimed to be rechargeable. I'm pretty sure everyone remembers those. I certainly do. Yeah, you could recharge these things in any amount of devices, and they worked like regular batteries, but you could recharge them. And of course, a little later on, they realized they didn't need that blue packaging, despite it being as a recognizable rechargeable product, and most rechargeable batteries were either green, red, or yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it. Yellow sometimes. Yeah, this kind of made it really confusing, so most companies switched to green rechargeable batteries. But I do have some old orange and yellow ones from back in the day that still work. Yeah, but I don't really. I don't even know if I have them anymore. But I know I did. Why would, I don't know. You can still buy rechargeable batteries today, but a lot of the ones that you're probably looking for don't exist anymore. Like D-cell rechargeable batteries. Those don't exist anymore, but they did. And of course, C rechargeable batteries, although findable, are very rare to find. Even though they're still being sold. I have no idea why. And the actual chargers for these batteries can be even worse to find. It's like, why? It's garbage. Rechargeable batteries are great, but sometimes they're garbage. I mean, sure, you don't have to buy as many AA batteries, or any at all, but, you have to buy a whole bunch of rechargeable AA's. Or at least 6 if you wanted to maximize the capacity of the recharger, or 10, whatever. It depends on how big your charger is, and yeah. And if it was one of the old chargers from the 90s or early 2000s, it wouldn't really charge your batteries that fast. It would take at least a day to charge them. And then by the time you would use them, it would just seem like a wasted cause and of money. Anyways, that was one of the things you could get for the Game Boy Advance, although it wasn't technically created by Nintendo or a third party. It was actually created by many, many companies. And it would fit in most devices that would take 2 or 4 AA batteries. But those days are long numbered, or gone, and now we just have regular rechargeable single batteries. Anyways, back to the Game Boy Advance. The Game Boy Advance also had a secret function. You see, the Game Boy Advance actually lived up to its name at the time of Game Boy Advance. You see, the technology inside was actually pretty advanced for the time, and hospitals actually took fair advantage of the original Game Boy Advance's pretty cheap price point, and the fact that it could actually technically be hooked up to any kind of monitor. And they took advantage of that by using it as well a heart rate monitor or in many of their hospital machines. So yeah, you could actually literally be hooked up to a Game Boy Advance one of these days and not even know it. Anyways, and did I already talk about the TV tuner? I think I did. But if you really didn't want to do the TV tuner and you just wanted to be able to watch your TV episodes, or at least some of them, when the inevitable happened, oh no, free air TV failed in favor of people having to pay for TV? I'm shocked. Well, I mean, sure, you would technically have to pay for your TV through electricity, but anyways. Yeah, the electricity from your TV would actually power the antenna as well. So if you could actually figure out how to do it, you could actually hook up an antenna to... Let me do it. This is why the Game Boy Advance SP, or Game Boy Advance TV tuner, is actually coming back somewhat. Because people are finding ways to actually update it for the modern status of TV antennas. Auto-tuning, where it will scan and then it'll play whatever channels it finds. But if you could, and if you wanted to, you could actually hook up an antenna to this thing, which it does actually have an antenna, but that's for radio. I mean the other antenna, that would go here, in that little hole right there. If you had one of those antennas and one of these battery-powered TVs, you could actually watch TV for free. Completely free. Because all you would have to do is get some rechargeable batteries. And that's it. Because it would power the antenna itself as well. The Game Boy Advance TV tuner is actually coming back a little bit, but I've already said that. There was also a few other accessories for the Game Boy Advance, like the e-reader. It was a card reader. Need I say more? I've talked about it a few times. It's capable of connecting to almost every Game Boy Advance. I'm pretty sure one of the only ones it's not able to is the Micro. Not sure why. Oh yeah, it also can't connect to the original Nintendo DS because, well, its link port actually covers where the Game Boy, the DS is bulky. So, yeah. And believe it or not, if you do it right, your Game Boy Advance can actually play NES games without cartridges or without anything in it. All you would have to do is tell the Game Boy Advance to access the NES library that's built into it. As you see, there's actually two ways a Game Boy Advance can operate. You see, with the, NES games at least. Well, at least some NES games. I mean NES games, not Super Nintendo. Why did that? You know, I said Super Nintendo because I've been playing a lot of Super Nintendo games. Not on the original console, though. Because the controllers died. I swear. I got the controllers for this thing, like, a few months ago. And they're just not responsive at all. Mostly because they're third party and knockoffs. But that's just me buying cheap controllers because I'm a cheapskate. And then most people respond to that with a question when they see all of this. what about all this? And I said, well, a lot of this stuff was actually bought in big totes, or I just got extremely lucky. As you see, most of this stuff was actually either bought by other people for me, or actually was bought in big totes or boxes in bulk at about, oh, I don't know, $5 a box. And so the Game Boy Advance didn't have very many accessories, but it did have a few. I'm going to talk about more in the next video if I can find more. Goodbye.